Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, the channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news, guys. It is a Saturday. It's obviously a Saturday without football for us. We play tomorrow against Fraserburgh, but a signing has been made. That's right. That's right. There has actually been a signing made. Well, a kind of signing, a loan signing. I mean, we can all talk about what you want about loan signings, about how you feel about loan signings, but I think we all kind of secretly knew deep down that any signing this January transfer window would be a loan signing. It wouldn't be a permanent. I don't think, I just don't think there's the money there, is there, at the end of the day. So we're going to talk about that. A central defender. We're going to talk obviously as well about a report coming out about Tom Lawrence possibly leaving the club to go to Besiktas. That is the report. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So let's start off with the good news, the signing. The signing is of a centre-back called Rafael Fernandez, Portuguese, young Portuguese lad. A player who is at Lille currently, a player who is very promising, up and coming, potential, a lot of potential there. That's the word I've read most often about him, is the word potential. He is 1.91 meters tall, which is well over 6 foot, so he's a big beast of a centre back. He is Portuguese. He's 22 years old, and there is the obligatory scarf picture, guys. Let's face it, it's never ever official until you get the scarf picture. And there we have that scarf picture, so that he has officially arrived now. So it is obviously subject to international clearance, so it's very doubtful that he will be available for tomorrow's game against Fraserburgh. I don't think that obviously he would feature in that, and I certainly hope that we'd see probably some more of the young players in that game rather than some of the older, more seasoned pros. Fernandez, has had a vast array of experience. Well, has had some experience. I think the one word that, like I said, that keeps coming up time and time again about this young lad is that word potential. That's the word that I see. I suppose the one other encouraging thing is that we have an option to buy on the player. Which is good because, let's face it, we don't have the option to buy on Vladislav Cherny, which obviously is a downside. When I think you take a player on loan, you want to have that option to buy, don't you? You want to have that chance to purchase the player if that player plays well for you and settles in well. Now, Rangers obviously have had a massive issue at centre back just recently with obviously the injuries to John Suter, Balogun, who is now back, and obviously Tassan Weirjo, who is now, I think, returned to Feyenoord to do his rehab. So Fernandez comes into an area that is really lacking in quality, and a real area that's really lacking in depth. Robin Propper has been playing there. Robin Propper's not been the best this season, has he? Dujon Sterling, who's a fullback's played there. Clinton Ntiala, who's done a very good job there, in fact. In the games that he's played, I think he probably was one of the men of the match in the last game that Rangers played. So look, overall, you've got to say that this is fulfilling a need. It's fulfilling a need. In terms of what's been reported. So he's joined for the rest of the season from Lille, where he has not yet made a first team appearance following a £2 million move. Now, Rangers do have the option to buy Fernandez, who has played for Portugal under 18 and under 20 level. If you look back at what he's done so far in his professional career, this is it. This is his career. You'll see that he actually hasn't played a great deal of football. He came through the Sporting youth system, which obviously, stands him in good stead at a club that historically does produce very good young players. He played for the under 23s there, 27 appearances and a goal. Spelled Aruca, also with Lille B team, 5 appearances for them. Played twice for Sporting B, twice for Sporting in the Youth League, but hasn't actually played any real first team football. There's no actual first team football to speak of there, is there? There's nothing there that says, look, I've played, for the first team. That is the one concern I kind of have a little bit. Around that. For those of you who don't know who Aruca are a team in the 7th tier of Portuguese football. So I suppose the only sort of first team football he's played is in the 7th tier of Portuguese football. So, I think he is. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm not writing the lad up. He is a very young, up and coming, talented player. The one thing I kind of question is, at this stage of the season, is that what we need? A young, talented, up-and-coming player, or do we need someone who is perhaps a little bit more short-term, who can fill the gap, who can hit the ground running from day one? I mean, that's why I was very much, pro the signing of Nikola Katic, for example, and obviously Ekdal, who was obviously later denied, but he would have been someone again who could have hit the ground running from day one. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think if he does come and settle in well and he does play well, it's certainly a player that we should be looking at, acquiring. A bit of a project player again. That's kind of the worry for me, that it's another project player. Fernandez, speaking after joining Rangers, said, "I'm here. I'm very happy to be here. It was a club I wanted to come to since I heard about the interest, and I'm really happy to finally be here. My first impressions have been really good. I met some of my colleagues, some of the staff, and all of them made me comfortable to start the new challenge." So, he seemed obviously very positive words about the club, very positive words about, what he's found so far. Philippe Clement, speaking about the player, says, "I am very pleased to welcome Raphael to the squad. He's a young defender who brings with him a lot of qualities, which will be an asset for our team for the remainder of the season. He has a lot of potential, and I am looking forward to working with him." There's that word again. Potential. Technical director Niels Koppen also spoke about Raphael as well. Said, "It's fantastic to have Raphael join Rangers for the remainder of the season. He's another exciting young talent to add to the squad." Notice the word squad. "We identified the defensive area as one we wanted to strengthen in this window, and it's great to be able to add Raphael. I'm sure he can continue to develop his game at Rangers, and I look forward to seeing him challenging our defensive players for playing time in the weeks and months ahead, and potentially the seasons ahead too," obviously with reference to that option to buy. So look, it's a player that comes in unproven. I suppose, like I said, is the one downside. Bags of talent, bags of potential is the positive side. Very much fits the kind of model that we're looking at this moment in time. These young players, these up and coming players, the players that, if we purchase them, can fit into the trading model. Like I said, my one concern is a little bit that it's not a hit the ground running player. It's a kind of potential player. It's a project player. And realistically, does he, if you were picking your team tomorrow for the Dundee United game on Sunday, next Sunday, sorry, does he go straight into the starting lineup? I would say not. If Balogun's fit, which he seems to be, and Proper's fit, then you're probably going to start with Balogun and Proper there. Whereas I think if you've gone and got someone like Nikola Katic or someone like that, they'd have gone straight into the starting lineup. I think that is the one downside of this signing. I think it is a good signing, don't get me wrong, for the future and for the rest of the season. He can come, he can develop, he can. Like I said, my one concern is this is a tomorrow player. It's not a now player. Another one. I mean, obviously we've seen that a lot of them have done really well. Hamza came in. He took time to settle in. He's played well. And Tiala obviously had teething problems in the B teams. Now coming to the A team, done very, very well. That another thing. How long does it take him to settle? How long does it take him to kind of find his groove within the Rangers first team? That's sort of another question that is slightly worrying and concerning me at this stage. So that's obviously Rafael Fernandez. We welcome to the club. I hope he, obviously goes on to become the player we all hope he can be, and obviously fulfills that potential that we keep hearing about. Now, one player who could be on his way out of the club is Tom Lawrence. Obviously, Tom has missed an awful lot of football recently with injury. Lawrence does seem to be awfully injury prone, doesn't he? He has missed a lot of game time. Now, Lawrence is out of contract in the summer. His contract comes to an end. Now, there had been rumours that due to Philippe Clement's love for Tom Lawrence, I think that comes across in some of the interviews when he talks about, we're missing Tom Lawrence, or if we had Tom Lawrence, etc., etc. However, that rumour seemed to be very much suggesting that there could be a new deal in the offing. Tom Lawrence. I mean, certainly something that I really hoped wasn't true. I mean, I don't want to see Lawrence come back into the side. I don't want to see him playing, because for me, he just slows the game down way too much. And realistically, if you're looking at it, is he a better player than Yanis Hadji? No. Is he a better player than Nadim Bayrami? Certainly not. So for me, he's not a player that I would, easily welcome back into the starting line. I mean, certainly a useful player to have on the bench and be an impact player from the bench. I think that's a role he can fulfill. As David Edgar once famously said, he's a 15 to 20 minute player. He's certainly not a whole game player. Now, according to reports in the media today, Besiktas are showing an interest in the player. Now, Besiktas, obviously Turkish league, so you've obviously got to take whatever comes out of Turkey with a slight pinch of salt, because we know that the Turkish media are very, very famous for their making stuff up. You know, they love a bit of that, don't they? They love to make a bit of stuff up. But you know, it does seem that interest is genuine now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the current head coach of Besiktas, not Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Ole has actually coached Tom Lawrence as well at Manchester United, so has a relationship with Tom. And the talk is that Ole is very interested in taking Tom Lawrence to Turkey to play for Besiktas. That could even be in January for obviously what would be a small fee, given the fact that he's out of contract in the summer. This is where the interest has come from. So he's got 6 months left on his deal, and he is free to speak about a pre-contract. So it could actually even come down to just agreeing a pre-contract. But it does seem like there is genuine, concrete interest there from Besiktas in Tom Lawrence. And I think, you know, if there is interest there, then I think, you know, obviously good luck to Tom. I think that would be the perfect place for him to go. I just think that he's kind of come to the end of his time at Rangers, and he's one of those players, like I said, that due to his injury record, and he has a pretty awful injury record, that it is really time that the player moved on and the player got a fresh start somewhere else. And I think, you know, he's one of those players that we do need to get out of the club. Guys, let me know what you think of the stories we have covered so far, obviously covered in the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you obviously for your subscription as well. Thank you for all your support. On the way out, smash the like, comment and share. And remember always, we are the people.